This video is opinionated, so if you disagree with the topic, that's totally fine. But after talking to Steam, I'm convinced that CoryxKenshin's actually not going to retire at 10 million subscribers. Not that he wasn't originally planning on doing that, but that 10 million kind of came a lot faster than maybe he planned for it to come. When he originally said that, when he was hitting 7 million subscribers, and I think in his mind, 10 million was still a good maybe couple years away even, instead of a couple months, in which case at the point of recording this video, he's kind of slowed down his videos, which in my opinion, I think that's because of how many subscribers he was just kind of getting, the momentum he was kind of having, and then suddenly having to be confronted with, what does he do at hitting 10 million so soon, right? At the point of recording this video, he's already at 9.5 million. That's just a few short videos away and he'd probably get it. It's probably why he can't play any more Friday Night Funkin' even, for that matter, even though it's very enjoyable to watch him play that game, is because there's the amount of views and the amount of people that come and see him when he makes videos, and how consistent he was going into 2021, he probably would have hit it already. And so in that case, I think that's a situation where he originally did, again, like I said, plan on retiring, but then now the situation has kind of dictated that maybe he has to decide now, does he still commit to that? Does he still be a person of his, I guess, word and retire at 10 million? Or does he decide to push that out because 10 million was reached so fast? Now that he maybe doesn't want to retire from YouTube one day, and 10 million maybe is a great number to put up there, right? Like if I said I'd retire at 10 million, that'd be a long ways away and I'd be able to do YouTube for quite some time, if not forever, because maybe I'll probably never hit that number. But that's my point. Like you put a number up there that you want to maybe achieve and think you can achieve, but you think it's going to be at a distance if you still kind of like doing YouTube, but do want to see it come to an end maybe eventually, right? Eventually, you know, even if YouTube is very successful for many, many years, a lot of the top creators might want to invest in doing other things alongside YouTube. And so that might be a reason why he made that goal to begin with. That said, what I want to kind of look at now is some differences in creators and how they go about their community. Because one of the reasons I'm making this video is because Jack, as in Jacksepticeye, was streaming and someone asked him about, does he think that CoryxKenshin will retire at 10 million subscribers? And it's not verbatim, but the idea was no, because of how kind of fast it's approached as well. He kind of had the same idea that I had in that regards. But then he talked about something else that also some of you might remember. When Cory hit about 6 million subscribers, he made a tweet about how kind of disconnected from the community you kind of get at that point. At that point, there was kind of like a bit of a disconnect. You're so big and there's so many people, it's not as easy to connect with your community anymore. And that's kind of sad, actually. And speaking of Jack, when he was streaming, one of the things he talked about too, in relation to that tweet, why the whole conversation that kind of spawned from there, was the idea that yes, you know, with him, for example, he has 26 million subscribers on YouTube. He remembers the days when he had like 2,000 subs and he could actually maybe talk to subscribers, kind of get to know them maybe a little bit on a level that he can't anymore now. While he's appreciative of the position he's in because of all the great things he can do for things like charity and whatnot, one of the things he can't do is connect with his audience really kind of at all anymore, which is part of why he streams on Twitch so much, because he only has about 14,000 people watching versus like 26 million. And 14,000 is still a lot of people, but when you turn on slow mode, maybe you can catch a couple of messages and actually have a conversation with chat a bit more in that regard than you can when there's 26 million people per video. There's like 10,000 comments, 2 million views minimum. Like it's just, there's a bit of a separation there that's unfortunate that comes with also growing. It's one of the cons, you could say, actually, of growing. On one hand, financial stability. It justifies your ability to be able to do something like YouTube long time and dump all of your creative energy into YouTube without having to divide it up with another job or something else. Sure, but that's one of the disconnects when some people do YouTube to connect with people, to feel like, in a sense, they have a place they belong. Like they play games to connect with other gamers because when they were growing up, being a gamer was made fun of or nerdy or picked on, stuff like that, right? So, transitioning, let's look at Nagzz. Good old Nagzz21. We like Nagzz around here. One of the things Nagzz did, actually, is when he made the jump to Twitch, he made a jump to Twitch with a smaller community, right? There's a smaller group of people over there than when he was doing YouTube and VR chat full time and all that stuff as well. And it's pulled off as of today, right? Like now that community has kind of grown over on Twitch, but it's been like a slow organic growth. So Nagzz in an interesting position where he's at a point where financially, like stability wise, he can justify doing streaming full time as a job, but also he's done this slow organic growth with the community that he feels like he can still actually connect with people on some level. He can remember people's names. He can remember the last conversation conversations he had with people and things like that. He's kind of in like the best of both worlds scenario. He's an example of like that in the middle, really good at this part, but also really good at still being able to connect with the community, which is one of the reasons, again, a lot of people kind of do this, is actually for like the kind of the community, the fellowship, the connectivity, as you will. Some of it is to make cool and awesome things, don't get me wrong. There's like a list of reasons people do this, but it tends to be a reason for a lot of people, is that connectivity. And Nagzz has that. He's created something special over on Twitch with one of the most interesting communities on Twitch I've ever seen as well, in terms of love and support. They will turn out like no one's business and also troll him like no one's business. So there you go. But with that being said, in relation to, you know, Cory as well, and even me, right? Like, I'm fortunate at this position, at this level that I'm at, right? As I do YouTube as more of a hobby right now. I too can connect with people. I too can have conversations with my subscribers at this level. I can remember their names. I can remember conversations we've had, inside jokes, running jokes on the channel. So even when I'm recording a video, I can think of, oh, so-and-so will probably find that funny. So there we go, right? Like there's a little bit of a specialness about that you do lose once you start getting way up there in, you know, subscribers. On one hand, you know, because numbers, that's success, obviously, right? But at the other hand, it's also feels like it can be a little bit lonely at the top of the mountain once you actually get up there. And that can also be a little bit of the problem too. Like with Nagzz, again, he's kind of in, like I said, the best of both worlds. He might be on top of a mountain, but he's crafted that mountain to like a home or a community, or as they like to say, like a family really even, can kind of cultivate on there together instead of just kind of being up there and you can't really connect with people. Maybe you can connect with other creators, but you're busy and they're busy. And it can feel like a bit more of an isolated job than people really talk about actually. So, coming full circle back to Cory though, the conclusion of this video, the moral of the story of why I even made this video was a little bit to talk about why I don't think he's going to be retiring at 10 million. I think if anything, he's sitting and waiting. He's not purposely kind of taking a break in terms of like he's just forgotten to make videos. I think he has to really weigh what he wants to do about the fact that 10 million subscribers is closing in fast. And either he's gonna make a video when that hits and he is gonna retire, or he's gonna make a video saying, you know, basically, let's push this out a little bit more. I still got more in me to do, kind of a thing. But the conclusion, the moral that I'm making for this story is also to love your community. That's kind of the bottom line of this. Love your community, take care of the community that takes care of you. I'm not saying you have to love everybody that subscribes no matter what, or everybody that comments no matter what they comment and all that stuff, because some people, they're just mean. I'm talking about the community that takes care of you, that supports you, that does stuff for you, that watches videos. All of you that are watching this video at this point even and haven't clicked off, let alone have watched past videos, have commented, have liked, have subscribed, all that stuff. I appreciate it. And that's what, you know, a lot of creators kind of don't want to take for granted and shouldn't take for granted. Hopefully, you don't take it for granted if you have any kind of audience whatsoever. Love that audience, because that audience loves you. Or if they love you, I should say. I'm not saying like love every single critic, especially if you're one of those people that counts haters as critics. Video for another time though, but we're gonna end this video by saying that is, again, an opinion, and you can disagree, and that's totally fine. But I'm gonna conclude the video there and say thank you so much for watching this video and any video of mine that you've ever watched, actually. But I don't know which video will be next. We'll just have to wait and see. So until this time, take care and enjoy pizza responsibly. Thank you for watching.